So this is an introduction to coordinate geometry, and in this case we are looking at the straight lines. But before we go there, let us take a closer look at what we mean by the Cartesian plane. Yes, the Cartesian plane was named after a French mathematician, DesCartes. Yeah, DesCartes. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is what we have: the x and y axis. The x and y axis. The y axis is also sometimes called ordinate, and then the x axis is also sometimes called abscissa. Okay, so when you look at the graph carefully, you realize that we have two lines, that's the x and y axis, dividing the space there into 4 sections. So we call the first section here the first quadrant, and then we have what we call here the second quadrant, and then in this region we call the third quadrant, and then here the fourth quadrant. Now you also notice that in the first quadrant, both the x and y values there are all positive. So we have x here, y here, they are all positive. And then on the second quadrant, you realize that the x values there are negative, but the y values are positive. And then you can clearly also see that in the third quadrant, both x and y are negative. So x is negative, y is negative. And then the fourth quadrant, x is positive, but y is negative. Yeah, so this is the main features of the Cartesian plane. You have the x and y axis, and then when you take the x axis, you have the negative part and then the positive part. And then when you take the y axis, you do the same thing. All right, so how then do you locate points on this particular plane or graph? So let's say we want to locate a point 2, 3. So let's call that point A. We want to locate a point 2, 3. So here the 2 is for the x axis, and then the 3 is for the y axis. So we move where the 0 is, that is what you call the origin. This place is called the origin. It has the coordinate 0, 0. So if we are to plot the point 2, 3, we move on the x axis to our right 2. So you see the x axis or both axes are labeled, and we have this scale here. So as you move from here, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The same way when you go to the y-axis part 2, you have up to 13, and then down there 2. It goes on like that. So we want to plot 2, 3. So here x is positive and y is positive. So as I've said earlier, this one will occur in this first quadrant. So 2, 3. So you move. We start from where the origin is, the 0, 0. You move to our right 2 units, as you can see here. That is 2, and then the y is also 3, so you move up 3 units. So this is the place. This place is the point A. So you can write A, 2, 3. Now, in case you are asked to plot the point, let's say point D, which is negative 4, 8. Negative 4, 8. So here we move to the left side of the x axis. So from the 0 here, we move negative 4, and then we go up 8 units, as you can see here. So this is going to be the point B, coordinate negative 4, 8. Negative 4, 8. Negative 4, 8. What if you asked to plot the point C, which is neg 1, 0? Neg 1, 0. So here negative 1, 0 means that the x value is negative 1, but the y value is 0. So go to the x axis where the negative 1 is. So here y value is 0, so you cannot move up. So it will remain as such because that's where y is 0. So negative 1, 0 here. So this place is going to be the coordinate for the point C. So C is going to be -1, 0. Now assuming another point is labeled, let's call that point D. If the coordinates 0, -6, 0, -6. So here the x value is 0, so we are not moving anywhere. X value is 0. Then we go to the y value where it's -6. So you move down. Remember here is negative 0, -6. So you go to where negative is. And then this is going to be that particular point. Is going to be our point D, which is 0, -6. Yes. So at any point that you want to plot, the graph will help you to determine where to plot it. So you have to look at the values. Is it negative? Are they all negative? Is one positive, one negative? And then be very careful also when one of them is 0 or both are 0. If it is a point 0, 0, clearly this is going to be the point 0, 0. Okay? So whenever you ask to plot a point or on the Cartesian plane or the x and y plane, look at the coordinates that you are plotting, the x values and the y value. Are they all negative? Are they all positive? Is one positive, one negative? So look at all these things, and that will determine which of these quadrants that the point will fall. And if one of them is 0, be very careful also. If x is 0, the point will fall on the y-axis. Similarly, when y is 0, the point will fall on the x-axis. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, Amazing Maths Pro.